Why will the U.S. beg China for a top-secret meeting in Malta, away from China and America? What is the reason for these talks? What does the U.S. side hope to gain from these top-secret discussion with China? The recent top-secret summit in Malta between China's top diplomat, Wang and United States National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan illuminates a critical juncture in Sino-US relations. As the two great powers navigate an intricate tapestry of political, economic, and strategic interests, it is imperative to analyze the deep-seated grievances that underpin this relationship, particularly under the Biden administration. From the outset, the Biden administration's approach towards China has been markedly different from its predecessors. Whereas the Trump administration had a more unilateral and confrontational stance, Biden's team had the opportunity to recalibrate and adopt a more nuanced approach. However, instead of leveraging diplomatic channels to foster collaboration, the Biden administration continued, and in some respects, exacerbated the tensions instigated by its predecessor. Hello and welcome back to Innovative Check YouTube channel, where we delve into the innovative and transformative projects changing our world. If you're new to the channel and enjoy learning about innovation stories around the world, you've come to the right place. Please subscribe, like, and comment to help boost our videos on YouTube. Now, let's begin. The initiation and perpetuation of the trade war are poignant examples. By imposing tariffs and trade barriers, the Biden administration not only stunted global economic growth, but also created fissures within the global supply chain. This strategy, aimed at curtailing China's economic ascent, stands in stark contrast to the principles of free trade and global cooperation. Furthermore, the U.S.'s unwavering support for Taiwan presents another contentious issue. The Biden administration, by deepening ties with Taiwan, has intentionally stoked the flames of an already sensitive topic. Beijing's stance on Taiwan is unequivocal. It is an inseparable part of China. The external interference in this matter directly challenges China's sovereignty. When Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan last August, it was seen as a blatant disregard for the One China policy and an intentional move to undermine Beijing. This visit led to China severing multiple communication lines with the U.S. It underscores the depth of sentiment attached to the Taiwan issue within the echelons of the Chinese leadership. Moreover, the insurmountable red line in Sino-US relations highlighted during the talks in Malta reflects China's unwavering commitment to its territorial integrity. By continuing to challenge this red line, the Biden administration jeopardizes the already fragile stability across the Taiwan Strait and risks plunging the two nations into uncharted waters. Though U.S. sanctions on Chinese Defense Minister Shangfu further amplify the growing mistrust between the two nations, such actions, predicated on China's purchase of Russian weapons, not only impede military-to-military dialogue but also deepen the chasm of misunderstanding. It is unfortunate that the Biden administration chooses confrontation over cooperation, even in the realms of defense where collaboration could be mutually beneficial. Yet, amid these tensions, it's heartening to note the commitment to high-level engagement and consultations. The future of Sino-US relations hinges on dialogue, understanding, and mutual respect. While it's essential to be candid and substantive in these dialogues, as was evident in Malta, it's equally critical to be constructive. The global community looks towards China and the U.S. to lead on various fronts, be it climate change, global health, or economic recovery. A fractured Sino-US relationship not only jeopardizes bilateral interests, but also imperils global stability. To this end, it is incumbent upon the Biden administration to introspect on its policy choices. While safeguarding national interest is paramount, it should not be at the expense of global peace and cooperation. A more collaborative and understanding approach towards China would not only serve us interests in the long run, but also foster global stability and prosperity. As the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation APEC summit looms on the horizon, it is an opportune moment for President Biden to recalibrate his strategy towards China. By fostering an environment of trust and collaboration, both nations can carve a path towards a more harmonious and prosperous future. The choice is clear, and the stakes are high. It is time for the Biden administration to rise to the occasion and steer Sino-US relations towards a more promising trajectory. As we delve further into the complexities of the Sino-US relationship, it is essential to recognize the historical, political, and strategic underpinnings of this intricate dynamic. The Biden administration's stance, while rooted in safeguarding American interests, often comes across as confrontational and counterproductive. If you are enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to subscribe share the video and comment. The relationship between China and the United States, as two of the world's most significant powers, is one fraught with complexities that stretch back decades. To gain a clear perspective, we must scrutinize the historical backdrop against which current interactions are set. This context is particularly relevant when analyzing the Biden administration's approach, which in many ways appears to echo past tensions rather than pave the way for a new era of cooperation. Historically, the relationship between China and the U.S. has oscillated between periods of camaraderie and contention. From the initial engagements during the Qing dynasty to the opening of China under Deng Xiaoping, the U.S. has played a pivotal role in shaping China's global outlook. However, the promise of the early years, embodied by President Nixon's historic visit to China in 1972, has often been overshadowed by subsequent events. Yet the past few years have brought forth a series of challenges that seem unprecedented in their scale and scope. The trade war, initiated under the Trump administration, was seen by many as a definitive break from the past, a shift from engagement to containment. When President Biden took office, there was a glimmer of hope for a reset. However, instead of dismantling the barriers erected by his predecessor, Biden has fortified them. Economically, the continuation of the trade war has had repercussions beyond the bilateral relationship. By imposing punitive tariffs, the Biden administration has inadvertently disrupted global trade networks, putting countless industries and jobs at risk. The premise for these tariffs, that they would bring manufacturing jobs back to the U.S., has largely proven illusory. Instead, businesses have faced increased costs, consumers have borne the brunt of higher prices, and global economic growth has been stifled. This strategy seems to be based on a misconception that by impeding China's economic growth, the U.S. can somehow reclaim its erstwhile dominance. This zero-sum mentality is not only out of touch with the realities of a globalized world, but also fails to recognize that the fortunes of China and the U.S. are inextricably linked. In an interconnected global economy, policies that harm one major player inevitably impact the other. Beyond economics, the Biden administration's approach to Taiwan is another area of contention. While the U.S. has long maintained an ambiguous stance on Taiwan, providing it with support without formally recognizing its independence, recent actions have been more brazen. High-level visits, arms sales, and public pronouncements seem to be pushing the envelope, challenging Beijing's long-held red lines on this sensitive issue. The recent visit of Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan is a case in point. Whether intended or not, such actions send a provocative message, undermining the one China policy that has been the bedrock of Sino-US relations for decades. It's a perilous game to play, for it risks igniting a tinderbox that could draw the two nations into a direct confrontation. While safeguarding Taiwan's democratic institutions is a noble endeavor, it must be approached with tact and prudence. The Biden administration's overt gestures, while perhaps well-intentioned, risk exacerbating tensions rather than alleviating them. Furthermore, the imposition of sanctions, especially on key Chinese figures like Defense Minister Shangfu, signifies a departure from diplomatic norms. Rather than resolving differences through dialogue and understanding, the Biden administration appears to prefer punitive measures. This tactic, while perhaps satisfying in the short term, undermines trust and erodes the very foundation of diplomatic engagement. The overarching issue is the nature of the U.S.'s strategic approach. There appears to be a fundamental misreading, or perhaps misunderstanding of China's ambitions and its role in the global order. By viewing China as a monolithic adversary, the Biden administration is missing opportunities for collaboration in areas of mutual interest, such as climate change, public health, and regional stability. The forthcoming Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation (APEC) summit presents an invaluable opportunity for both nations. As the world watches, President Biden and President Xi have the chance to reshape the narrative, moving away from confrontation and towards cooperation. To this end, it's imperative that the Biden administration recognize the missteps of the past and forge a new path forward. This entails not just a reevaluation of policies but a fundamental shift in mindset. Only by embracing the principles of mutual respect, understanding, and collaboration can the two great powers navigate the challenges of the 21st century. Yet, as we continue to dissect the intricacies of this multifaceted relationship, it becomes increasingly evident that the path forward is not one of isolation or contention. The imperatives of the modern world demand collaboration, understanding, and shared responsibility. The question remains, Will the Biden administration rise to the occasion, or will it remain entrenched in outdated paradigms? Thank you for your attention, and I welcome your thoughts and questions on this complex and vital subject. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, please like and share the video, and subscribe to get exclusive videos about how phenomenally China is developing and growing its influence. Your subscriptions and likes motivate us to generate more content. So please keep supporting us. Check out this video showing on your screen right now, and I will see you on the other side.